What is up, No Fear fans? Welcome back to another episode. So, if you are a new viewer, I want to take this time to say, if you're a new viewer, please hit that like, comment, subscribe, share. I am coming. Oh, my bad. I'm coming. I'm used to doing movie reviews. I almost said I'm coming back from the theater. So last night, May 2nd, there was a big fight card that happened in the middle of Times Square. You had Teofimo Lopez versus Barbosa. You had Devin Haney versus Ramirez, and then you had Garcia versus Rolly Romero. And these were some pretty interesting fights. I'm gonna just give y'all a quick little review on my opinion on what happened, how these fights turned out. I'm probably gonna have a different opinion than a lot of other people, especially versus the Devin Haney fight versus Ramirez. So let's get into it. So Teofimo Lopez versus Barbosa. I gotta say, first and foremost, Teo looks real good up in there. He looked real comfortable. He would look real fast, real sharp. He pretty much beat Barbosa with his speed. He looked real sharp up in there. Barbosa, he looked real strong, but he kind of lacked a little bit of, he was getting outbeat with speed. He was bigger than Teo, but Teo just looked, he was real quick, sharp, comfortable. Teo, he was, showboating a little bit up in there. He was just himself. He was comfortable. And I ain't got too much to say about that fight, really. I'm going to say really mostly what I got to say for these next two fights. But I just got to say for that fight, Teo looked real good. Barbosa, he looked real good too. So, but I think his speed maybe needs to work on his speed a little bit, and his sharpness, and other than that, everything else, he'll have a promising future than he already does. I know he's already has a great record already. So, but Teo, best of luck to Teo. He called out, I think he called out Boots Ennis. I don't know if he's gonna beat Boots, but Boots might be a little bit too much for him. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes with Teo and Boots. That'll be an interesting, fight. Everybody knows how entertaining Teo is. So great win by Teo. That was pretty. It was pretty interesting to watch. So best of luck to him on his next opponent. So all right. Moving on, Devin Haney versus Ramirez. Man, this is probably where I'm going to have the most to say. I'm going to save my opinion on today's fighters towards the end. And I'm going to say Devin Haney, when this fight started, Devin Haney did look a little bit, shaky. He looked a little bit, I ain't gonna say nervous, but his feet was a little, his foot movement was a little okay, he all over the place a little bit right now. He needs to just kind of chill out just a little bit. And I gotta say that this was a great defensive win for Devin Haney. Ramirez, he couldn't do nothing with Devin Haney's defense. Devin Haney, it's like he picked up his defense a lot. Like, Devin Haney was always pretty much a good defensive fighter. Everybody gonna say, yeah, obviously, not the Ryan Garcia fight. Whatever. I'm gonna save my opinions for that later, real quick. But I gotta say, this win was a great defensive win for Devin Haney. Devin Haney, his defense was too much for Ramirez. Ramirez couldn't do nothing with Devin Haney's defense. Devin Haney kept he kept going back and forth. He kept, getting out of the way. He kept, he was using the ropes to his advantage in a way. A lot of the fight, going around the ropes a lot. He was sticking him. He was moving a lot, moving around a lot. He wasn't letting Ramirez like get comfortable to where, I can land some good shots on him. And I like that in the fight. I like that. Shakira Stevenson fights the same way. And a lot of people don't like them. They call that, a lot of people don't like that fighting style. But I'm gonna save that opinion for my last little segment. But I gotta say real quick, Devin Haney, him versus Ramirez, Devin Haney versus Ramirez, that was a great defensive win for Devin Haney. He looked a little bit shaky. His feet was a little bit, questionable. I was like, okay, but I feel like he picked it up. His defense, picked up, and he looked it a little more comfortable. He was on a year layoff due to being cheated against his last fight. So in my opinion, Devin Haney, it was a great defensive win for him. So he won with his defense damn near. So, and if you could do that, I think that's so smart. That's good and that's smart. So, hey, I want to give a special shout out to Devin Haney for that. So he has had a year. It has been a year since he's been in the ring. So that ring rust might be a little, it might have showed a little bit towards the beginning of the fight. So those commentators was hating on him the whole damn fight. It was pissing me off. Like who the fuck is commentating? Like, bro, y'all is hating on this man. Now, moving on to the main event. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. I want to start off by saying shout out to Rolly. Rolly, he shocked most of the world. I think this was a 90% people had Garcia winning versus like 9% Rolly, if I'm not mistaken. So Rolly did the unexpected. So I gotta start off by saying I thought these two have fighting styles that most of your basic boxing fans, like watching today. I thought they was gonna come in there. I thought both of them was just gonna come in there and start, just trying to get each other out of there and just knock each other out by the, fourth, fifth round. So Rolly came in there sharp. He came in there, looking strong. Rolly Romero, man, he looked it big in there. He looked it muscular. He came in there fighting smart. He had that right hand up next to the, to his right chin, and, keeping that protected because, everybody knows Ryan Garcia, his main shot is that left hook. You take that away from him, you beat him, I think, every time. So I think Rolly went in there with a smart and great game plan, and it executed. Like it paid off. Rolly Romero, he looked as strong as well. That Rolly got power. Rolly got great knockout power. So I also want to say the knockout in the second round, Rolly, that was very surprising. I don't know why it wasn't surprising because Rolly has the knockout power. It was surprising. Like it's like low key, everybody thought Garcia was going to be the one to get him. Like I said, like 90% of people that, either betted on this fight or whatever watching it had Garcia winning. So Rolly, I want to say great job. He looked as sharp in there. He looked as strong. He had a smart game plan. The whole fight, he was, he was jabbing him, getting that body, attacking the body. Garcia couldn't do nothing with that. He tried to get that left hook off a couple times. It just didn't work. Rolly pretty much just took it away from him. So Rolly, very smart. He was fighting smart, throughout this whole fight, and it was a great win for him. He didn't call anybody out or nothing like that. He did say he wants Garcia and Haney to have their rematch. So he's going to go back to the drawing board or enjoy this win and go back to the drawing board, and we'll see what happens next with him. So, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm glad Garcia lost. I wanted Rolly to win. Now I'm gonna get to why I wanted Garcia to lose. And this is going back to this Devin Haney and Garcia shit. First and foremost, this is the problem I have with these new upcoming boxer. We still good? Okay. This is the problem I have with these new, boxing fans. I'm calling it new boxing fans because people are acting like this is something that's new in boxing. When it comes to these defensive fighters like, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, the person that really kind of like made this really popular. I ain't gonna say he started it, but he made it really popular and showing like it's like playing defense in boxing is important. You new boxing fans act like, playing defense most of the time is a problem. Y'all call it boring. Y'all call it running. I don't get it because it's like y'all expect these fighters to get in here, get in this ring, and just start banging, like just trying to knock each other's heads off, like fighting. Like y'all don't want them to go in there fighting smart at all. And that's the problem I kind of have with you so-called new boxing fans today. Calling fighters like Shakur and Floyd Mayweather, the person that really made this popular. I ain't gonna say he started it, but popular. Floyd Mayweather. That fighting style is so important, and I wish a lot of boxers fought that way, in my opinion. Y'all call it boring, and y'all call it running. Is it Floyd's fault or Shakur or Devin Haney's fault that when they go up against these opponents that they're not able to knock them out how y'all want them to? But y'all put the blame on Devin Haney or a person like Shakur or Floyd because the other person couldn't knock them out. Y'all call it running. I call it fighting smart. Defense is important in every single sport. It's the same thing in basketball. You got basketball fans today who claim defense is pretty much, boring in a way. Defense wins championships in every single sport, even in boxing. Floyd Mayweather exposed that. Like, he made it real popular. Shakur Stevenson made that, he is undefeated. He hasn't been beaten. People could barely hit him in the ring. Y'all, and I think it's very important, and it should be talked about more because I think more fighters should do that. You got fighters who back in the 70s and 80s who can't even talk now. They need a reminder to take a bath because they got hit so many times in their head due to all them all those uppercuts and stuff, all the hits they took to the head. And I feel like some boxers today are realizing, hey, defense needs to be picked up more in boxing. The less you get hit, the easier it is for you to eventually get the win towards the end of the fight. 12 rounds. The less I get hit, the easier it is. It is for me to win. So that's the smart. I don't get why boxing fans today have an issue with that. And I don't know. I've yet to run into anybody that has that that opinion. Calling Haney, Shakur, the older Floyd Mayweather boring, not the young one, but not the pretty boy Floyd, the money Mayweather Floyd. They call him boring or he runs. I call it fighting smart. I don't get what the big issue is with that. What you new boxing fans, like, y'all just want people to go in there and just knock each other's fucking heads off in the first, second, or third damn round. Y'all just want people to go in there looking stupid, like it's a street fight, like it's some type of, like, yo, like, these dudes have to do this for 10 plus years. Fighting smart is important for them. So, if you have a different opinion, please comment or whatever your opinion is on that. So, hey, but I think it's just stupid. You so-called new boxing fans today, y'all don't really appreciate the art and defense and boxing. Y'all don't. Y'all really don't appreciate the art. Like, boxing is boxing. There's a lot that goes into boxing. Y'all trying to take away the names of these boxers that fight smart, and I don't think that's right. That's messed up. Y'all trying to take money out of their pockets. Y'all trying to put a bad rep on their name. Y'all trying to put a bad reputation on their name because they didn't, like, yo. Y'all want them to go in there and get, mess themselves up in the long run, and that's stupid. Now, this is my last take. Now, this Garcia versus Devin Haney shit, man. I don't think I've addressed this. Okay, I don't think I've addressed this yet. Now, since Garcia got knocked the fuck out, and, he lost the fight last night. I've heard that, him and Devin Haney, the contracts is damn near already signed. They're, pretty much guaranteed to fight this fall. So, now, here's my problem I have with you. I call them, I don't know why I call y'all new, because it's like y'all have no, I don't know why I call y'all new boxing fans, because it's like y'all have no type of knowledge on what goes into boxing and what these fighters go through day in and day out in training and stuff like that to prepare and put on the show for people. I don't know. I'm one of those fans that appreciate every type of boxer. Whether you're a boxer, like I said, like, I appreciate every type of boxer. Whether you are a knockout artist, you're a defensive style type of fighter, whether you're a stick and move jab type of fighter, whether, I appreciate any type of boxer. That's what I call an original fan of boxing. Same thing with basketball, football, whatever it is. I'm more of a defensive, person when it comes to any type of sport. Defense is important. It's the most important thing. All your champions throughout history had great defense, whether y'all like the defensive style or not, in every sport. So, but anyway, this is my last take. Devin Haney. Devin Haney gets so much hate. And I really am pissed the fuck off about it. I'm pissed off about it. It annoyed. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, let me take that back. I'm not pissed off by it. I'm gonna say I'm annoyed. It's really annoying. You can't bring up Devin Haney's name not one time without somebody trying to bash his name for a stupid reason. For like a reason that is stupid. And the hate he gets is really unnecessary, and it's unfair. When Ryan Garcia's name comes up, now here's my thing. For people that don't know, for any viewers that don't know, also I want to take this time to say, please, if you're watching, new viewer, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share. Really appreciate it. So the Devin Haney hate really makes no sense to me, because it's like, this man got in the ring with Ryan Garcia, a person that came in overweight. Yes, I know that really doesn't. Okay, Devin Haney, he accepted it. He was like, okay, that's okay. He didn't make him have a rehydration clause, when he was overweight. That's fine. Whatever. Now, so after the fight, it happens. This man, Ryan Garcia, gets, he gets tested positive for, having PEDs in his system. you know, everybody wants to act like that has no type of advantage for a fighter in a boxing match. Here's my take on that. For one, PEDs in boxing is illegal for a reason. Y'all trying to make it seem like, oh, Devin Haney still lost. He still didn't have no defense for that Ryan Garcia's left hook. Shut up. I got family watching this, so I'm trying to really watch my my language. I'm trying to watch. I promised my aunt and my mom I'll watch my language. So y'all know what I'm trying to say. Shut up. Devin Haney fought someone that was on PED who tested positive for PEDs twice. There have been bodybuilders and powerlifters who came out and said it definitely has an advantage. They take this stuff to prepare for their events that they have coming up. It comes out of the mouths of people who actually use this stuff, daily or weekly. And they have came out, it's been multiple who came out and said it definitely has an advantage. And in my opinion, it got exposed last night when Ryan Garcia wasn't landing that hook, he wasn't using that hook how he usually wanted to. People are bashing Devin Haney's name because they don't like him because either I don't want to pull a black card. I don't know if it's because he's black or because he's a Muslim or his dad talks stuff. That's another thing I don't like. People talk stuff on Devin Haney's dad, like Bill Haney, like he's a black father that is supporting his son. All y'all fathers out there, y'all would do the same damn thing for y'all son. Why do y'all hate Bill Haney so much? Because he's for one, he's his trainer. He's training his son. That's one. Two, he's supporting his son. All y'all fathers, all y'all out there that got a son, y'all would do the same damn thing. And y'all sitting up here talking down on the Haneys because whatever reason. And it's stupid. We sit up here and complain all damn day, every day about how more fathers need to be involved in their kids' lives. This man, Bill Haney, has got his son all the way up to where he is today. A multi-millionaire making millions of dollars a fight. He's still undefeated. Fought a person against PEDs, and y'all trying to make it seem like that had nothing to do with it. And here's my last thing I want to say about that. I would love to see any one of y'all fight someone on some type of advantage like PEDs or whatever it is and see the outcome. Let's see the outcome. How about that? I would love to see any of y'all Devin Haney haters out there. I would love to see y'all fight someone on PEDs and let's just see the outcome. Let's just see if it had any advantage. That's the real test. All y'all talking shit out there on him. Let's just see what happens. Fight somebody on PEDs and then let me see what happens. Let's see the results after that. Hating on this man for no reason, really no reason. So I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Ryan Garcia still gets praised for bro, this man really cheated against somebody, and y'all are praising the man that cheated versus the person that y'all that got yo, it don't make no sense. Is it what? Is it because what? Oh, Devin Haney's a defensive fighter or something like that? Yeah, what? Yo, I just don't get the hate. I really don't. And lastly, I know I keep saying that. Lastly, this is something Terrence Crawford mentioned in that Shay interview a little bit. He touched base on it a little bit. Why in today's society, when a boxer gets a L, he's considered overrated. He's considered done. His career is over. I don't get it. Like boxers in the past have never had any type of bounce back. Look at Rolly Romero. You know, he came back. There's a lot of boxers I can name throughout history, you know, but I don't get. But why is it that when like boxing, so-called boxing fans today, why is it that when like a boxer, like he's undefeated, he's doing well, he gets a loss, people start bashing his name, they start calling him overrated or he's done with, etc., etc. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It makes no sense. Y'all don't do that shit with y'all ain't did it with Garcia. Y'all ain't did it with Tio. I ain't heard nobody talk about Tio. Look at him, he bounced back. Y'all didn't really do it with Rolly. Not like that. Y'all ain't did it with Canelo. Y'all ain't did it with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is a known cheater. Manny Pacquiao is a person known for taking, perform like enhancement stuff. So it's like, and he still praises one of the best boxers. People think he's one of the best boxers ever of all time. Not saying he's not. He has a great legacy, but he's still praised. And I'm noticing a pattern here. I ain't gonna say what the pattern is, but people that know, they know. So I just don't. If anybody got any type of rebuttals or any responses, comment with whatever you think. We could have the conversation. But somebody help me understand on some of this stuff. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
What's your opinion on the announcers for most of the fights that they had?
Well, yeah, like I said, they was hating. I ain't gonna lie. You talking about like the commentators?
Yeah.
But yeah, the commentators, they was just hating on Haney the whole fight. They was hating on him the whole fight. They kept bringing up that damn Garcia fight. They brought that shit up like 10, 15 times. Let the shit go. Why do people, every time Devin Haney's name gets brought up, people have to come out with this fucking Garcia shit? Like, bro, let it go. Stop hanging that shit over this man's head. Garcia used PEDs to beat this man. It got exposed damn it last night. You can say it. Stop bashing this man's name because he got cheated against. PEDs is illegal for a reason. And y'all acting like that had nothing to do with it. Like I said, any of y'all that got a problem with that, fight somebody on PEDs and let's see the results. Let's see what happens. I want to see what happens. Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. So but yeah, that's really my take on all that. The commentators, they was hating on him the whole fight. Kept bringing up that Garcia shit. They feel like he has ring rust, or he feels like Ryan Garcia's in there with them. He's looking. Oh my god, man. Where was that energy at when Garcia was fighting? He didn't look like himself.
They weren't really praising the fighters either for their. They kept saying like, they're just measuring each other up, and they're not really taking much hits. They're not.
They sounded. I don't know who was commentating.
It was all three.
But like they sounded like They sounded like new boxing. Like these new. Like I said, they sounded like people who are just watching boxing, like within the last 2 to 3 years.
One of them used to be a boxer himself or something.
He didn't fucking sound like it.
Right, but the other two guys.
There was one. Like, yes, there was one of them that was boxed. That was an old. I don't know who it was though, but
he was giving kind of like praise to most of the fighters for their abilities,
But he was sounding like a hater too. All of them was. All of them. It was just annoying. It was annoying. It was stupid. But I don't know. Like I said, if you have any type of rebuttals or any type of comments about that, just go ahead, comment with what you think. I'll respond to it, whatever. And hey, I don't get it. It makes no sense. Defensive fighters are important. I don't care. Shakur Stevenson's style of fighting is important. It's smart. It's entertaining to me. Because a person's not going in there just swing, doing these, swinging for no reason, not fighting smart at all. Like, that's stupid. That's not smart. There's more to boxing than that BS. So,
what'd you think of Rolly's fighting style?
Rolly, like I said, Rolly fought a smart fight. He fought real smart. Like he took Ryan Garcia's, his main thing away from him, and that's his left hook. He took that away from him, and whatever he did in training camp, it was a smart game plan, and it worked out. He did it, and it planned out right. So kudos to him.
A really good job with the body shots and being consistent with that, and listening to his trainer. I feel like Ryan Garcia wasn't really listening to his trainer at all, and he just kept trying to stick with the left hook or whatever for like the entirety of the fight, and it's like his right hand didn't get any action at all.
That's his main thing.
That is so stupid though, because it's like
that's the thing. It worked so good last fight. Like it worked so good last fight with the Haney fight that it kind of built it made his ego big, and it's like, this is my go-to. That's my opinion.
So weird. It just seems like that's all he is relying on, instead of like trying to be a well-rounded fighter.
I think he's beat damn near all his knockouts. Yeah, damn near is that left hook. But it's going to be a point in time where
that doesn't make a good fighter.
It's going to, but that's what I'm saying. But he still gets praised for just having that one damn move. Damn near, he has nothing really else.
That's all people were talking about. But it's like
his defense,
also praising the other fighters for being like, wow, I really love well-rounded fighters. I love them with power and their stances and awkward fighting styles to throw other people off. And then when it comes around, they're just like glazing to the max, and they're totally forgetting what they praise the other fighters for, and they have a different criteria for him. It really feels like it's either scripted, or that chic Prince guy is telling them like, hey, we got the big money on Ryan Garcia, so glaze them so that everyone in the audience is watching on TV, they're going to glaze with and like place bets on Ryan Garcia or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
It just feels weird.
All the bets.
It's not consistent with anyone when it comes to like, if they praise one fighter and then there's Ryan Garcia, it's like they don't have the same criteria at all, and it's weird. Is it the social media aspect? Is it like, wow, this dude is Sigma funny guy, social media weird guy, he blah blah blah, he bounced back from drugs or something. It's like, it doesn't make sense, Yeah. If it was someone else, they totally flame them for like rehab, for just sticking to like one signature move and totally losing to it, and their social media presence being all weird and stuff. They totally be flamed, so it doesn't really make sense.
Well, yeah, another thing is, too, Devin Haney, he sued Garcia for that, and a lot of people calling Devin Haney a BITCH for that.
Sued for the PEDs?
Yeah.
That's deserved.
Exactly. But they trying to call him a BITC. They trying to compare him to Drake, low key in a way. Totally different.
Yeah, because
totally different.
We don't need to give it to him.
Yeah,
that's it's obvious.
I think people know that's nowhere near comparable at all. But I think that's deserving. You using an illegal substance to beat me, and you telling me I can't, like, what the hold on. If I was Devin, he would have had to see me on the streets type shit, like, So, but Devin Haney's doing it, I think the right way. He's, their rematch is going to happen, so.
I can't wait to see it. I'm so
So, but that's my take on everything, y'all, about the fight card, everything that happened last night, and everything. Like I said, if you are a new watcher, a new viewer, please hit that like, comment, subscribe, share. And I will see y'all next time. Stay fearless. Love y'all.